everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Fundamentals of America. Been a long time. We've had one of these episodes. Been about 2 weeks. Couldn't get Nate to agree to a time, and look who ain't even on here, boys. Rhino Ron's finding his charger, and little baby Nate's sitting at home. Why? Mad. He's got better things to do, he says. We'll go on without him. We don't need him anyway.
He's gotta eat.
Well, boys, what's everybody been up to the last 2 weeks?
Well, finally got to go back to work a little bit. Finally.
Yeah, hauling them 2 kids back and forth to Millard.
Hey. Better than sitting in the house as I've been doing for a while. Due to our wonderful governor not allowing kids in school.
Hey, well, we got to go down to Lexington and watch them state championship games.
Yeah, we did, and I bet Andy Bashir was just disgusted watching it.
I bet he was about
The
to
full
have a stroke.
football season got finished. Even made it to the state finals without him shutting it down, so it's a surprise.
Did you social distance and wear your mask? That's all that matters.
Yeah, they had mask Nazis. These old people were down there. They'd walk up in the stands and everything. If you took it down and you held it down a little bit too long, take a drink or something, they'd look at you till you put it back up. I seen this old man. He's probably like 80-year-old. Kept telling everybody to pull their mask up, and I was just sitting up there eating my nachos and drinking my Coke, just having a good old time.
That's what I don't understand. They have you spread out so like at least 12 foot from somebody, but you can't pull your mask down sitting there by yourself. I don't understand that.
But if it's old people, they're telling them those people don't need to be there. I see you're too.
Yeah,
old
well, see, that's what I didn't understand is they only sold so many tickets, and they wouldn't even let D-Train. It wouldn't even let him buy all session tickets. So he had to buy individual tickets for us each game. And the whole time we sit, and I don't think really, I mean, there might be people like 2 rows in front of us or 2 rows behind us or like 12 feet to the side of us, and we had to keep our mask on the whole time. Only time you take down if you was eating or drinking. By God, you couldn't sit there with it off, though, and enjoy a football game because big bad COVID. Wind will blow that wind and come get in your throat. You're done for.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Other than that, it's been a pretty boring time getting ready for Christmas, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to Christmas. It's not the same as it was before, though. You know, we was little kids, it's fun, but now you're older and you're just kind of like, time to get my yearly supply of underwear and socks.
And don't gather with your family.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got to make sure everybody tests negative before we can go to daggum Christmas with our family.
You know, there's going to be some people that still have Christmas, and everybody in that daggone house is going to be wearing masks.
Yep. I got a friend who, I mean, I like her and everything, and she's a liberal. Lord help her. Her and her brother, I guess they're not going to spend Christmas together because of this COVID stuff. I don't know why. They did a Christmas over FaceTime. It's like they came and dropped off gifts to each other. I don't know how they done it exactly, but they just done it over FaceTime and opened up gifts that way. That was a little confusing. If you're going to be there to drop the gifts off, why not just open them up together? But
hey, that should be you're American. You should be able to decide. Okay, if you want to do it that way, it's fine.
yeah,
No
I mean,
big deal. But if
get
you
your
want to go to your
choice.
family and everybody's down for it, go to spend Christmas with your family.
Yeah, you get your choice. I mean, me personally, was this Thursday and Friday, I don't know what they were doing stuff, but I know we're all going to be up here. Which, I mean, I ain't got a big family that comes up anyway. We're all up here all the time anyhow. The only person who's had COVID in the family was Mom, and she's done been over it, so.
If Nathan comes up there, make sure you quarantine him.
Well, I'm going to tell you, he's coming up here tomorrow to drop off his kids, and I'm going to have a bottle and a diaper waiting on him. I'm going to feed him and pamper him real fast so he'll get over it. I just like giving him a hard time. I wish Rhino Ron would hurry up and get on here, though.
We can't help, Nathan, that you're bad at Call of Duty. We can't help it.
No, there's no helping that. No helping that youngin' right there. He's
better than me.
he's not.
I don't cry about it.
It's not that he's like. Here we are talking about Call of Duty on a daggone fundamentals
It's
of
all right.
America, but but here's the thing: is he's not like awful at it. He's like a solid 1.0 player, like William said earlier today. He's a 1.0 player, and he needs to accept that's where I'm at. Let me just try to do my best.
Listen here. There ain't nothing more American than Call of Duty.
That's true. If you're a teenager boy and you ain't playing Call of Duty, I really got some big reserves about you as a boy. You might be a girl, but
Yeah, but y'all boys need to play hardcore instead of that core. Telling you.
we just play Nuketown. We can't help. We just do what old Daddy William tells us to do.
Yeah, everybody's got to say he's like the Godfather.
On Call of Duty, he is. When he's on, we play the game modes that he wants to play. We leave when he leaves. I don't know, it's pretty weird, but I mean, he's the best out of all of us, so we just kind of fall in line. It's like we're playing hard. Yeah, we sit there and we play hard point, and it's Neil, Lord love him to death. Awful, couldn't kill anybody to save his life, but by God, he's the best hard point player you ever seen because he gets like 2 minutes in hard point every game.
Yeah, we're not talking about his zombie game earlier, 14 downs.
He was going for the record, he said.
Yeah, I jumped in there with William and Chris or Gunner the other day when they was playing zombies, and as soon as I got in, I died.
Well, see, the funny thing about Neil is he was doing good, and I joined the game, and he only had like 1 down. And all of a sudden, he went down, and he just kept. They'd go and pick him back up. He'd go down again. When we ended the game, we done that exfil thing on there and got out. We ended the game, and he had the most points because it kept giving him 20,000 score every time he died. So he ended up having more score than every single one of us. But yeah, Nate, if you'll even listen to this, I'll tell you what kind of podcast host we got with us here. He don't even listen to our own shows. He
You're
care
kidding.
less. Listen to it. He won't even do it. Pitiful. Pitiful. I could get on here and I could cut out every word he said and he wouldn't even know the difference. I did do that one time. I ain't going to tell him where I done that, though. I'm going to make him see if he listens to this, see if he can find it.
We'll make him say stuff that he didn't actually say.
I'd love to have a voice changer and get on here and talk about Nate. I'm telling you. Why he's not on here, I've told it to him to his face. Nathan Little is a COVID-19 liberal. He
It's true.
is a COVID-19 liberal.
He's scared of the virus. That's where he's at. Him and Ronnie's scared, so they're in their basement.
Yeah, like Joe Biden. They said Joe Biden won. They said, God, thank God. I was so tired of pretending I liked Trump. That came from Nate and Ronnie's mouth right there. Rhino Ron. Perfect nickname right there. Well, you know what? While we're at it, it's been 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and get my Ron out of the way. The Ron. I'm going to give it to Nathan.
That's
Hey,
my swamp donkey.
Nate, you swamp donkey. Nathan is my Ron for this week. He, COVID liberal, deserves it. Gets on Facebook, acts like he's a conservative. He's a liberal. Rhino. We got 2 rhinos on the group, boys.
My dad did say, he said Nathan's a closet liberal.
Oh yeah, was it the last episode we did? He said that.
Yeah, I think the last one we done.
What was it? Oh yeah, his view on drugs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, another thing, the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. I heard today that it was made with stuff from aborted babies. I heard that on NPR, and that's pretty
What are they?
true. Yeah.
What are they getting? What are they taking from the aborted babies? Is like their cells and stuff like that?
I assume. I just know that a lot of the research is the vaccine is made in some part with aborted babies.
What in the world? I'm gonna look at it while I'm at it. So
Because
y'all
I
just
heard them talking about the Catholic Church was saying that it's okay to take it. It's just not okay to abort babies.
what is this? Yeah. Oh yeah. It's true. I looked it up. It's all over the place. It says yeah, the Vatican okayed getting the COVID-19 vaccines that use cell lines from aborted fetuses. Once again, I hate to get I hate getting religious on stuff like this because I don't want to offend anybody's beliefs, but Catholicism is in my eyes it's a pretty big joke. Uh, I don't really know much about it other than the fact that from what I've seen from most people, you can go out and do what you want on Saturday, but whenever you got mass on Sunday, you can go in and go to the Father there and profess your sins, and then you're all right.
Now I don't know about it either, but I always was told that they worship Mary as
Yeah.
they would Jesus and God. I'm not saying she ain't important, but I don't think you should worship her.
Well, I don't really know much about Catholic. I've never really got into it, but you just see the stuff and like kind of all the stuff they ever get put in the news for is pretty hypocritical like that. You know, you're religious, you don't believe in abortions yet. Oh, it's okay that you can go get that vaccine that uses stuff from aborted babies. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, they're pretty liberal on a lot of stuff. There's a few views like divorce. They're pretty strict on it. You know, demonic possessions. You know, they
That's what.
exorcise the demons.
Oh yeah, that they always call in the Catholic priests to do exorcisms and stuff like that.
But I've been told that Pentecostals do just as good.
Well, I can go in there and ask my nanny about that. She goes to a Pentecostal church, but I don't. Again, I mean, I can't really speak for any other. Uh, I didn't know that they was using stuff from aborted fetuses at all. I had no idea until you mentioned it.
I'm
Are you
sure a
still
lot
gonna
of
take it?
I'm sure a lot of Americans don't know that.
Well, no, and you're not going to see that on the big news. Which, well, actually, that's right there. Great segue into what I've been really pissed off about for the last daggone 2 weeks. You know, my little independent episodes that I'm sure hardly anybody listened to other than Madison's dad. He listened to them because he commented on one of them. And the daggone media is biased as all get out. It kills me. And I don't know. I think Madison, you listened to one of them because I know you messaged about it. But
Yeah.
the media is just it's really gotten out of control. You got I know y'all remember back in 2016 when Trump won electoral college and everything you seen on there was electoral college is a bad way to elect a president. It's outdated. We need a new system. We need to go away from it. Do popular vote. And they even on the day that Congress was set to ratify the electoral college, they had their like legislators and they were standing up trying to get the people to change the electoral college's vote for Trump and changing it to Hillary Clinton. And you know, and now here we are. Well, after that, you know, they kept going on Russia. Trump was a Russian spy. He's an agent of Russia. Russia this, Russia that. Lord, big bad Russia. What's Russia really doing for us, folks? I mean, what are they doing over here? They didn't interfere in the election. Robert Mueller never found anything. If he found something, I'm sure Trump would be in jail right now. But where's Trump at? He's sitting in the Oval Office right now, finishing out his term. Here we are, 2020, still talking crap about the country. The country's awful, this and that. People in the media. We need to do popular vote. You know, they was preparing themselves, setting themselves up in case Trump won. And here we are, what month? Almost getting close to 2 months after the election, and the electoral college votes and does Joe Biden's going to be our president, this and that, and all of a sudden, media comes out, democracy reigns supreme. Joe Biden, woo. The electoral college is a great process. it was never flawed. And now they're criticizing Republicans for saying that there could have been voter fraud. Oh goodness.
And we're not saying that there is voter fraud.
No.
But if there is, let's see the evidence.
Yeah, that's what. God, I got into that too. If I was when the Electoral College voted for Joe Biden, I remember no COVID, you can't really go anywhere, and restaurants were shut down. So for 2 weeks, I just stayed at the house. I was staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning, driving myself insane, reading news and stuff because I got bored. And I drove myself insane, and then I decided to leave the house one day. I went down to Slim Chickens. Lord mercy, 5 and 5. Lord, if y'all, anybody listens to this ain't been to Slim Chickens, got that 5 for 5. I recommend it. Barbecue sauce. Oh Lord. But anyway, and I was right there, and I opened up my phone, and on Twitter, first thing I seen was, Electoral College votes. The other votes came in, and California was the last one, and it set Joe Biden over 270. And then all I seen on there, because Twitter, liberals all can, it's all get out. All I seen from everybody that criticized the Electoral College in 2016 was talking about how great of a process we got and how it's the best. And it just really set me off about the media, the people on Twitter, social media. Honestly, I don't know why Trump ain't tried to do it yet. Social media really needs to be protected in the First Amendment. It's become such a big part in our lives. Have you guys went a day? Can you think of a day in the past year that you haven't opened up your phone and got on Facebook or like Twitter or something like that? I know I can't. I'm on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter and Facebook the most during the day. And you can't even, if it was, I posted that. I went over it in that one episode, last episode, and I did my post, and I sent you all the picture. I got on there and didn't even say anything about election fraud at all. Not a word. And the only thing that was on there was 5 minutes after I posted it, just criticizing how the media and Democrats are hypocritical. And 5 minutes after I posted it, there was already a tag on there. Here's the results of the election. I was like, well, I didn't even question the election. I didn't even question that.
It's dangerous that they
question.
can censor free speech. The First Amendment should be redrew up and cancel this social media. Social media should be included in the First Amendment.
It's a known fact that big tech is in the liberal hand. They work together with the left. It's a known fact.
Absolutely. One of the biggest owners of the big tech is Dallas Mavericks owner, Mark Cuban, which is a known liberal, votes Democrat, and he is one of the big tech owners in the United States.
Well, Silicon Valley is it's rough out there. Everything it just kills me, the fact that you can't get on Twitter or Facebook and express your. I mean, most of the time, unless the post gets big, we're not going to get took down. But if you got like bigger people like guys like Ben Shapiro that are high up in the conservative community, and like that, the New York Post article about Hunter Biden's big deal he had going on, you had that happening, and not a single, Twitter wouldn't even let you post the link. It was blocked. You couldn't post it.
Well, they take Alex Jones out because he just talks about conspiracy theories.
Yeah, Alex Jones is completely banned from, and I know why Alex Jones got banned. It's because he messed up on Sandy Hook, and he admitted it. He thought it was a conspiracy at first, and then he actually found research and stuff, and he realized it wasn't, and he apologized for it. But after that, once cancel culture kicks in, you're done for. Which he still gets. We was listening to it Sunday or yesterday when we was on our way home. God, it feels like forever ago already. But we was on our way home. We was just sitting there listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with Alex Jones and Tim Dillon on there. He's talking about how even though he's been, kicked off, banned from Facebook, banned from Twitter, he got banned from YouTube. His InfoWars website and that bannedvideos.com or whatever gets like 3 million views whenever they upload a video. So, I mean, his platform's still pretty big.
You put this on that new site, Rumble. I think it's called.
What's
Have you heard of it?
I ain't even heard of it.
It's like YouTube, but it's they don't censor you. You have to look it up.
That just it really does. They need to introduce, and I don't know why they ain't done it yet. Why Republicans ain't brought it up yet. I'm sure now is not the best time.
But
Considering
Trump's
they don't
asked them
have.
to.
Well, considering now when we're going to have Joe Biden as president, it's going to be hard to really get any. Well, pretty much our only hope is for the Senate in Georgia on January 5th to stay Republican, because if not, we're.
Speaking of the Senate races in Georgia, I seen today that the Secretary of State in Georgia sent out letters to over 8,000 out-of-staters that requested absentee ballots.
Out of state people have ballots.
8,000 requested absentee ballots, and he sent them letters today saying they're not getting them.
So you're. Oh my God, what a broken daggone system, boss. He.
1,000 people out of state requested those.
Honestly, I'm just at a loss for words, because I mean, if you're going to find any cases of really big voter fraud, it's not going to be in a presidential election, because that's too wide scale. You would find it in something like the Senate race in one state if you're going to find anything. But here we are again. We sit here for a month and a half, and all we heard from Trump every time he'd put on Twitter was voter fraud, voter fraud, voter fraud, voter fraud. We're going to have this big press conference. We're going to reveal the voter fraud.
I won big.
Yeah, I won big in all
We
these
won
states. They
big.
stole it. And I sit here and I was thinking, well, they're supposed to have this press conference. Let's see the evidence. And there was never any concrete evidence. And it's got to the point, honestly, I love Trump as a president. I wish he was still going to be our president, but I have Trump fatigue bad. I'm fatigued by Donald Trump. Him being on Twitter and just talking and talking and talking about how he won big has fatigued me. And I'm mostly to the point where I don't care if he runs again in 2024. I'm hoping as a Republican Party, I'm hoping they're not going to put all their eggs into the Trump basket, and let's work on the party as a whole and get these younger, more prominent Republicans in the Senate to move up.
But I will say that I don't know about him running again in 2024, but he has revived the Republican Party after the disaster of George Bush. I think he's built it back up, and
He has.
we've got more of a following, and I think he's scared a lot of Republicans this next go around, because he did do some crazy stuff. But I think he done a lot good for this country. But I think in the next presidential election in 2024, I'm thinking a Republican will win the White House again, but I do not think it'll be Donald Trump.
Hopefully it is Donald Trump, because I look at it this way: you got people like Ted Cruz and all these people that's just followers. Marco Rubio. That's the people you do not want as president, in my book. They're good fighters right now, in the Senate, and all the ones in Congress, Senate, Congress, whatever. But are they really what they say they are, or are they gonna flip flop when they get in the big house?
Well, see, I used to think that about Ted Cruz, what you just said. Back in 2016, he kind of looked like he was just, he was there. He was just there to get you vote. But as I've followed him closer and closer, he's really changed my mind a lot. And also, if I had, say, for some godforsaken reason in this world, that the Republican ticket was left up to me, it would be Ted Cruz as my president, and Marco Rubio would be running as vice president for me.
Oh God, I think Rand Paul would make a great president. That's all. I don't think he would.
I do too.
I like Rand Paul, but I just think Rand Paul would. I don't know how to put it into words. He's got some
He would
policies.
fix this country.
He's got some policies and stuff that are a little policy ideas that are a little liberal to me.
Well, he agreed with Marsy's law, which I do not agree with. at all.
He's
You know,
kind of
he was,
isolationist.
Yeah.
but on the economy and stuff, like I heard him talking earlier, we can't just keep giving money out.
Right.
Without this coronavirus. The problem is government's got too much power anyway, and they've shut everything down. Then they say, you know what, restaurants you can open up 50%. And then they say, no, you can't. You can only be outside. Then you do outside dining. No, you got to shut down again. They just don't need to control everything so much. Less government. He's a libertarian. That's what
Yeah.
he is.
Now,
I
what
do.
I
love
would,
martial law.
my choices would be Ted Cruz for president and Rand Paul as vice, because I think they both equal each other out on their craziness when they spark up. But you know, again, like Chris said, I was worried about Ted Cruz in 2016. He seemed like he was a tell you what you want to hear type of guy. I'll do this for you because you want to hear it and you vote for me and I'm not going to do it. That's something Donald Trump killed that narrative, because when he told you he was going to do it, he done it. He done everything he listed out, his first 100-day plan and all this. He done everything he said he was going to do. And, I mean, first I was worried about Ted Cruz, but I think he has a backbone for America. I think he's just as strong as Trump is. And I think it took a butt whooping from Trump to get that way, because he's like, wow, Trump can say what he wants and what he's going to do and actually get it done.
Yeah, well, what I've really grown to like about Ted Cruz in the last 4 years, well, see, in 2016, I wasn't old enough to vote, but I'd started finally, and this is something that really just aggravates me to death. I think y'all can agree. When you were growing up and you're being taught in school from the history books, you were taught to be a Democrat. The way they teach you is teaching you how to be a Democrat pretty much. I mean, I know you're not supposed to do politics in school, but the way they teach you, the way you grow up and the way you learn stuff, they're teaching you Democrat values.
Not one of my teachers, Derwood Ratliff. He sure wouldn't
Well, no,
teach
he
us how to
wasn't,
be a
but
Democrat.
it was very few, far in between, because you had, I mean, you're just taught that way, and you grow up, and if you just pay attention to what's on the news, you're done for if you just listen to what's on the news. You're going to be an idiot. You'd get destroyed by anybody that doesn't research yourself. Now, and I'm not saying that you can say you don't look at, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own views. If you actually do your own research and it turns out that you still believe a certain way and you believe a liberal way and you've done your own research, some more power to you. That's your opinion. But if you're one of those people that just wakes up in the morning and the way you get your news and the way you get your values is from daggone CNN and MSNBC, then I can't agree with you on anything, and I'm just going to call you dumb, because they're in the palm of liberals. It's a fact. Chris Cuomo brings on his brother and refuses to talk about how he put COVID patients in nursing homes, and it's swept under the rug. And somehow Cuomo's he led us through the pandemic. He was one of the great leaders, and he killed all them other people. But no, I do.
What's the CNN anchors? What Cuomo is that?
Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, well, I remember back when he had COVID.
Yeah.
Remember that big news story about him out in the streets of New York, and this guy was stopped out in his new built house because he was taking a drink of water. He was riding his bike in New York. He come out there and tried to fight him and wasn't wearing a mask and all these things that they crucify other Americans for not doing. them two fellers right there are jokes.
Oh, absolutely. And Andrew Cuomo is the highest paid governor in America.
Yeah, that one there on CNN. He said he thinks he's a bad guy or something. Like he whoop everybody.
Yeah.
Bodybuilder.
Well, I remember a
Steroids.
couple of years ago when
Take them steroids.
someone called him Frito at a party, and he might push that guy down steps. Yeah, Fredo. And he pushed that guy down steps and everything.
What a joke.
But before we go,
the Godfather movie. I think that Fredo or whatever.
Yeah. Well, all right. So before we started, before we got in this call, I was doing some research. I've been heavily critical of the media for a long time now. So, Gallup polls, most of the time they're the most trusted polls you can find if you want, just actual polling and not just bias polling. Um, so I was reading this. In 1972 is when they started asking the American people about the media and what their trust was. In the 70s, it stayed between 68% and 72%. And since it declined a little bit in the 90s, and it remained at like a majority level until 2004, and it dipped to 44% then, and it hit 50% in 2005, and since then it's not risen above 47%. And now, the Republican trust in media in 2016, I don't know what it is now, I think it's up to 40 now. In 2016, the Republican trust in the media was the lowest ever recorded by them at 32%. And since then, though, the Democratic trust in the media has went up sharply. So, if that don't show you right there, what I think it's a clear point of view showing you that media is shown from one eye view. Democrats trust the media a whole lot more than Republicans do, and that's because they're getting their point of view. They're getting the thing with the Democrats today in the media and social media. They don't care to hear your opinion. They want to hear their opinion come out of your mouth. That's all they care about. And really though, and I hate that people have had to go and make new social media apps like Parler. I love that there's a place you can go to and say what you want. And it not like, and I'm not mean get on there and be hateful and spew hate speech, because free speech is free speech. But you can say what you want, but you got to meet those consequences of what you say. If you get on there and say something really ignorant and dumb, then you're going to get in trouble, and you should. Like if one of us was to get on there and say something extremely racist, we should not, in our right mind, think, "Oh, well, there's no way I should be punished for that because it's free speech." You're going to face consequences.
Right.
You ain't going to go to jail, but you'll get kicked off the app or something like that. But I don't think it's a good idea for this country to have multiple apps now. You're going to have Twitter. A bunch of people left Twitter and went to Parler. You're going to now on Parler just have a mainly conservative view. So what's going to happen if somebody's going to Parler to look for their news? They're just going to get one sided view of that. It's a double-edged sword. Why can't we just meet in the middle, amend the First Amendment, and include social media and get stuff back, unbiased? It kills me that you get censored.
You're not going to get unbiased media anymore. This is
You
the
need
new
to.
media of the days. But maybe, I don't know. Because now the media decides to talk about the Hunter Biden corruption after the November election. Now they're going to start coming out and talking about this and this and this because now Trump's voted out. They're happy that they got done what they wanted to get done. Now they're going to talk about the corruptions, and so we'll see. So
There's
wait,
a
game, see
Democratic
how the media.
media. There's a Democrat media and a Republican media. There's no, I mean,
There's
there ain't
no
no,
doubt in the middle.
there's no actual journalist anymore.
No. It's all political biased. Even local media is political biased.
Oh yeah,
Lo-
WYT, WKYT.
Yeah.
Man, that's so liberal.
Yep.
Well, it
And those on here talking about they don't see Fox News moving forward with conservatives. They think right-wing conservatives has absolutely just shut down Fox. They're done with Fox Network because they're towards the end. They have become a little liberal.
the only people on Fox News that I like to listen to, well, really, there's only one that I really care to listen to, and that's Tucker. And honestly, Tucker's show alone beats a lot of other major news networks. And I don't know how he does it, but he gets a lot of special, he gets behind the scenes stuff and recordings of people talking all the time on there.
I kind
Pretty
of like
interesting
Sean
stuff.
Hannity too.
I like Sean Hannity more than Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson flip flops too much. He has in the past. He's worked for CNN. He's worked for MSNBC, Fox News. He's worked for them all, and
Well,
he's had a lot of views that go from one left to right, and right now he's putting out that he's one of these Republicans like Donald Trump appeals to, like the blue collar, working man. Tucker Carlson's not that, because apparently his father married into the Swanson family, and I believe the Swanson family is the ones that done the TV dinners. So he's got money. He's had money all growing up, and I like people that's gonna talk, on the media and stuff, and say, this is how it is, and this is what I think. To actually know how it is to be just a regular person, and how it actually affects you, politics and stuff.
well, here's something that makes me think about that. Is back when he worked for CNN. That was when CNN wasn't very liberal at all. He worked for CNN a long time ago, and he only worked for MSNBC, I think, for like a year. But at the same time, you got to think too, the way that news media has been reported for the last 20 years, you're not going to get on there and actually be able to say your own thoughts. They feed you what you got to say. That's just how it is, because they're
Yeah,
just
but
going to give you a script. They're going to let you say anything. So how do we know now that he's on Fox News and he's got this big platform and he can be himself? How do we know this ain't his actual views? But
I can,
he does have a lot of money. His first middle name is Swanson. So I mean, it's not like he came from a blue collar. So I agree with you there.
well, I think moving forward, what the media needs to do, I think Fox done a pretty good job. Is you allow both perspectives. This is like the American population. We all have different opinions and different views. Fox brings in some Democrats and Republicans, and they debate it out. CNN, I hardly ever see any Republicans, and you will absolutely see no Republicans on MSNBC. Allow both sides in on these news medias. If this is the route you want to go, journalism's dead. You're going to write on on your political side, if it's right or wrong. Okay, if you're for Trump, you're going to write, oh, he's doing this, this, this. If you're against him, you're going to write, oh, he's a piece of crap, he sucks. So these news media outlets need to bring in both sides.
And the only time that you see on CNN, if they bring in a Republican or like a different point of view, they attack them immediately.
Everybody on the stage attacks him, yeah.
It's like you bring in somebody and he's there just coming in to provide a different viewpoint. Immediately, as soon as he speaks, you got their anchors: Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, Wolf Blitzer, whoever else you got on there. Chris Hayes, I think, is on MSNBC. They all do it. They all immediately start attacking them, and they're there to fend for themselves. They're on a liberal network. I mean, they're a little tiny fish in just blood infested water, and there's a bunch of sharks just swarming them.
Listen, if you don't know whether to vote for Biden or Trump, then you're not Christian. You're not a Christian. If you vote for Biden, how can you say yourself a Christian? How? With the way
And also,
the beliefs the Democratic Party believes in, I would be ashamed to align myself with that.
Oh, yeah.
And
I agree with you there.
I'll say it. I don't care who gets mad. I know people get mad, and I know people that are Democrats, and don't believe that way. And Chris. I mean, your papa, he don't think that way. He don't believe them things, but he watches a certain news station, and that's what he believes.
What I'm saying is, I truly believe that Papa, ever since he used to not be this way, he used to not be a real Democrat, but he stated to me the reason why he switched was because he didn't like Bill O'Reilly. He said he used to be a Republican. Papa, he worked in a daggone coal mine his whole life, drove a coal truck, and gravel trucks, whatever you want to say. He worked on them his whole life. And then you listen to him talk out there, and he's got a lot of values that align with the Republican Party, but because all he does from now, ever since he's been retired and he can't really get out and do much, as soon as he wakes up in the morning, the first thing gets turned on. And Nanny has a fight with him to turn on a daggone TV show. The first thing that gets turned on is MSNBC immediately. And MSNBC is more liberal than CNN.
Not by far.
And I sit out there with him one time for like 15 minutes. Pakistan. Huh?
Disgusting.
But anyway, I was sitting out there, and it was
She
on
looks like a
MSNBC.
big giraffe or something.
And I was sitting out there, and I remember seeing the video of Trump. I watched Trump's press conference one day. I was just bored at the house, and I watched the whole thing. And then and he said one thing in the middle, and he was talking about something completely different. And they took that video, cut it down in the middle, and made it look like Trump said something completely different than what he said.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. I said, "You know, he didn't say that, don't you?" I mean, he said. I mean, it came out of his mouth, but it's a doctored video to make it look bad.
But you
I said he was talking about
gotta
something
let him
different.
explain it.
You know, and
It's just like the thing, oh, let's inject
yeah,
disinfectant in our
that's
blood.
stupid.
They
That is
cut it to
stupid.
where he said that, but did not allow him to explain what he was talking about.
When he said that, and I've tried to tell people what he actually said, but they won't listen because I seen it on CNN. I seen it on there. That's what happened. I seen it on MSNBC. It was on Twitter. He said, "Why can't we find something like disinfectant that kills 99% of bacteria, and
Yeah.
and use that and inject it?" And he didn't
You
say,
tell me this.
"Hey, you see that bleach over there? Put it in your body." Man, it's so stupid.
Find a video of Donald Trump saying the N word, and then find a video
Find
of
it.
Joe Biden saying it.
Oh, I've
Joe Biden
seen that
said
one. He said it right in the Senate meeting.
Mm-hmm.
He was I mean, their argument is that he was reading a quote. I don't care if you're reading a quote or not. You shouldn't say that word. If you're willing to say that word, then you've said it many times before.
Right. No.
And the thing that kills me is Joe Biden has had so many instances where he has been openly racist, and it just gets swept under the rug. He was talking about how Mexicans and stuff are just as just as intelligent as poor black kids.
He said, what was it? Poor kids are just as good as white kids, or something.
Yeah.
Then he talked about going into a gas station. He said, you can't go
Yeah.
into any gas station now without somebody having an Indian accent.
Yeah, you can't go into a 7-Eleven without having a slight Indian accent.
If
Yeah.
you don't know who you're going to vote for between me and Trump, you're not black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got swept under the rug. Oh, and this kills me too. I don't know if y'all seen this, but I watch. I shouldn't really watch it this much, but I watch TikTok quite a bit. When I'm home alone, I just turn on TikTok and I'll scroll away for 30 minutes. And there's been all kinds of people on there talking about how people were, and this is what Democrats do. They're politicians and stuff. They want your vote more than anything. And this Black Lives Matter group on their Instagram, they got the black people vote. That's what they wanted. Black Lives Matter activist group wanted a meeting with Joe Biden after they won, and they requested a meeting 32 days ago, and they've yet to hear a response. So, once again,
Oh, let me get back to the Call of Duty stuff there, because y'all remember the other day. Remember, I tried to put in WLM, Black Lives Matter, but it wouldn't do it. But you could put BLM for Black Lives Matter, and it would do it.
You couldn't even put Nazi Lives Matter on there, which obviously Nazis shouldn't be allowed. But you couldn't put anything. You couldn't get KLM. You couldn't do nothing there. You could put Korean Lives Matter, JLM. I tried all kinds of stuff, but you could put BLM.
Yep. Fast.
And that's like another thing too. Like I mentioned before on one of these, I think it was one of these episodes where I might have just been talking. You could go on the NBA shop and try and order a jersey, and you know how you can order a custom jersey and put whatever you want on the back of it. You could put, ACAB, cops are bad, Black Lives Matter, but you couldn't put Free Hong Kong on the back of a NBA jersey. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't let you. Said it was an inappropriate text. So it's just a joke.
Right.
I could go on. Honestly, I had to cut myself short.
Culture. Cancel culture.
Cancel culture is rough. I could go on about the media and all this stuff. I had to cut myself short on those podcasts because it was just me, and I knew that I get sick of listening to myself talk after a while. And I don't think there's no way in this world people would want to listen to me talk for 30 minutes. But here I was going for 30 minutes at a time because I was so tore up.
We're going to get in this big new coronavirus package.
Do what?
Stimulus package. We're gonna get in the stimulus package.
Oh yeah, that big $600 we're gonna get.
Oh yeah,
Hey, did you know?
$900
Uh,
billion.
Open the
oh
economy and you won't need the $600.
yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna look something up. Well,
Well, I
y'all talk
just
about that for a second.
what I'm gonna say about the stimulus deal that the House just passed, waiting for Congress to pass it. Uh, just like Madison was talking earlier, I don't know if it was during the podcast or not, but we don't really have the money. We're just printing money and printing more money and printing more money. And, some people need relief, and I 100% agree. Some people have been laid off, have
Yep.
lost their jobs, that need extreme help. I mean, the government wants to throw me some money in my bank account. I'm sure not going to say, no, don't do it, don't do it. No. Throw it on in there. But here's the funny part I take from this. So back before the election, I'm pretty sure the same bill come up, and Nancy Pelosi and
It
Chuck
wasn't.
Schumer was like,
It was a.
no, that's
It
not
was a new.
enough.
It was a new one.
Yeah, well, it was still the
Republicans.
same
They
money.
had. They had one for 1,200 again, and Republicans came up with one to give. I think they took away some allotments that the Democrats wanted to do, and they was giving it to more like small business stuff like that. Like you're saying, they said no, it's not enough.
Yeah, the Democrats wanted $2 trillion spent on the new bill. But the Republicans were still at $800 billion. Now they've kind of mixed matched a bunch of stuff in it, but still, we're still at the same price. But before, it was a political gain for Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. No, we're not. That's not enough for the American people. That's not enough. Why? Because the election hasn't happened yet. Now, after the election, boom. Now 800 billion's okay. Not 2.2 trillion you wanted to spend earlier. That's what I have a big problem because it was all political for the Democratic side. It was not caring about the American people.
Well,
Uh,
she says it's not good. She's like, well, it should be more. But why didn't she approve it? No, why didn't they agree on it in the first place? And
Right. It was
just work to
all
get the money out to
political.
the people that needs it, and then later on go back and try to get what you want. But the thing is about it, it's just making more debt for generations to come. Everybody's kids is going to deal with
Right.
all the debt.
They didn't approve it before because they thought it would help Trump's campaign. They thought, oh man, he'll get reelected because Americans are happy they got another stimulus check. So it was a political gain for them.
yeah, it was all Pelosi. I mean, what kills me today, I seen an article, and my papa, of course, he being blinded by what he sees on face. He kills me. He sits out there and watches MSNBC on the TV, and he's on his tablet over on Facebook reading news. I mean, how much news does a man need in a day? But he got on there and shared something about how there was an article or something saying that Mitch McConnell was the one that held up this relief this time. He held it up for months. In reality, Republicans had I think it was a higher one. The total limit and stuff and the money going to other people, we were still getting 1,200 for the people made under whatever. I think it was under 75,000. Was still getting that 1,200, but Nancy Pelosi, like you said, wanted to hurt Trump, held it up, and now they've tried to blame it on Mitch McConnell and the Republicans, saying that they let it sit on their desk and didn't do nothing with it. That's bullcrap.
I
But I'm trying to
guess
find.
where the other $600 American, because it's not 1,200, they're only sending 600 American out now. So I guess the other 600 is going to them foreign countries.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that from earlier. Trying to see where all that money's going. I seen also killed me. Did you know that it's like somebody from North Carolina snuck in something into that bill about illegal streaming?
Nah,
Like
I didn't see that.
it's a federal punishment now if you illegally stream like an event. They snuck it into that bill. Oh, I
Wow.
don't really understand why that's an important thing to talk about today.
Yeah, especially during the coronavirus bill.
Yeah, we're trying to give money to the American people. $600 that's going to cover hardly anything, and God, it kills me. But I can't remember where the numbers are. I'm trying to find those COVID things. They had a list on Twitter of all the money that was going to other countries, and there was a bunch going to like an Asia thing. It was some Asia fund of like $1.4 million or something like that. I'm trying to find it.
I
Oh,
think I found it.
it might be. Well, I hope you did, because it's a
So
big
it
one.
says Democrats send 600 in stimulus to you, but they're sending 130 million to Nepal. Is this what you was talking about?
Yeah, all the money to foreign countries for some reason.
Yeah. They're sending 85.5 million to Cambodia, 700 million to Sudan,
Hmm.
and 1.4 billion to something called the Asia Reassurance Initiative Act.
What? Well, you know where the Asia reassurance. You know where that money's going to. It's going to daggone China. There ain't no Asia reassurance. That's going to China.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
China owns us pretty much.
Oh, yeah. They're going to own us even more after the Joe Biden administration begins.
All right. So, as like I said, China's going to own us. As of January 15th, 2020, how much of a debt do you think that China owns of the the United States has so much debt? How much do you think that China owns of that? You just put a number. I'm gonna get the. I'm gonna see
Uh,
the
you
total.
saying a percentage number?
No, like you give me like a number. How
Oh,
much would you
Like
think?
trillions, billions dollars
Yeah,
worth.
trillions, stuff like that. Yeah.
Gosh,
mm.
I don't even know what to say. It's like
So
10.
I'm going
I'm
to
gonna go.
say,
It
go ahead, Carol.
was as of September 30th, 2020. The federal debt was 26.9 trillion,
Okay.
and
It's now
China's been buying up a
27.
lot. Well, yeah, it's up now to 27. But and China's been buying a lot of our debt for a long time. So you took a wild guess.
It's kind of scary how the fast this thing moves.
Yeah, it goes up pretty fast. China owns $1.1 trillion of our debt.
Wow.
And you know that number's just gonna keep climbing. That's
Oh, yeah.
exactly why Trump was tired of those one-sided trade deals. We were, we was taking in all China's stuff, but China wasn't taking in our stuff. We was just taking all theirs in, and that's how people was doing it. So
Yep.
Slave labor
yeah, and
cheaper.
that's why that's why Trump wanted to redo those trade deals, and that's why he did, and that's why we've been, like someone said, like it was Alex Jones. He said that there was never a trade war with China. Trump just ended the United States surrender to China in trade deals because we were getting, I mean, pretty much in our terms how we talk on a day-to-day basis. China was bending us over, not even taking us out to dinner first. They was going in dry. They were just giving it to us, and we wouldn't even do anything to fight back.
China's going to own us.
I mean, and it's I don't know how much you can take this with a grain of salt, but I got a fantasy football league. I mean, with a bunch of my buddies, and Cody Mullins, he works as a freight broker, getting trucks, going and shipments and stuff like that. I guess I don't really know exactly what his job title entails, but he had some guy from Canada call him and doing something, and that guy started talking about how stupid Americans were for electing Joe Biden, and that it's pretty much outside of the U.S. It's pretty much known that Joe Biden is pretty much an agent and works and sells intelligence to China and Russia. And you think after nearly 50 years in the in politics, in the Senate, vice president, You gotta think he's doing something to stay in power this long.
Yeah.
He's a dinosaur. He's gonna be the oldest president to ever been elected. And how in the world he got elected, I'll never understand because he stayed in his basement. Which leads me to this: what I found while I was looking for those numbers. Why don't y'all tell me how in the world this was Barack Obama when I guess this was his re-election. He won 69 million votes. That's just a rounded number. 69 million votes. Barack Obama won 873 counties. Donald Trump in this election won 75 million votes and won 2,497 counties. Meanwhile, Joseph R. Biden gets 81 million votes and only won 477 counties.
Crazy.
How did he get 81 million votes? And the first thing you see down here is, of course, the liberal immediately. And he says, it's because there was a higher voter turnout in L.A. County and places like that. L.A. County's got a higher population than anywhere else. People out in L.A. don't give a crap about politics. They're in daggone Hollywood. They don't give a crap. That place ain't never going to change. It's lost. It's liberal. It's liberal all over the place out there. And what worries me is people out in LA and stuff that voted Gavin Newsom and all these liberals in there messing up their state are now leaving and fleeing to places like Texas, and now they're going to end up turning Texas into like that too, because they're so dumb.
Yeah.
They're going to go to these red states and love how it is, and they're going to keep voting in idiots and change it, and then they're going to end up leaving again. You left one place, do your research and understand why it's like that. Oh, well, boys, I mean, daggone, we've been going. I figured by now Ronnie would have found his charger, and he never messaged anybody. We've been going an hour, and he's not even.
It's fine.
I'm telling you.
It just saves brain cells for our listeners.
Our two co-hosts that we have on here, our other two co-hosts, are daggone liberals. Can't convince me otherwise. They're teammate closet liberals. One and the same. I'm gonna come up with a name for them here soon. Since Nate decided to buck out on the podcast.
Nathan's at Ray Jones' house.
Well, I don't think we've done a podcast since the first rounds of vaccine has been distributed.
We ain't done a podcast in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Man, I knew you all would have got on here. I was trying to get everybody on here, but I got to the point where I just didn't care. If it had just been me and Madison, we'd have got on here and talked for 30 minutes and went on. Or one of us. I mean, we went for an hour. We've just been talking. And a lot of it, I don't know, normally was doing, one a week or two?
Yeah.
Depending. And I don't know, you couldn't get a time set down. Ronnie was always doing something. But, oh well. Let's see here. Seen something else on here about the. But Nate needs to quit being a little turd. Getting on my nerves. Anyway, while we're here, how would you all feel? And whenever we're of the age old enough to do it, how would you all feel about running for political office one day? I know for a fact that I'm going to eventually.
It just depends on what goes on down the road for me. That's pretty much.
I'm not gonna like put all my eggs into that basket. I mean, I don't know. I still am deciding whether or not I'd like to be a teacher, but at the same time, I'm considering I might have to move off from here and go and work down towards Lexington, Georgetown, Winchester, and one of those big businesses or something. Work my way up. But
for me right now, I had big hopes of running for political office, but right now, cancel culture, political correctness, you'll be crucified for anything you do as a Republican.
Anything you done to get past,
Really,
people will be proud of.
Well, and that's when you got to use the three methods. You got to use the Barack Obama method when he was running for president. How he talked to everybody. When you run for president, both sides they're going to bring up your past. It's the first thing people do. You can do the Barack Obama method and just come out and say, like he said when he was running, he said, "Yep, I did a little cocaine." distract you from it. Distract you from all the other stuff. Hey, I did a little cocaine. You can do the Trump and say, nope, never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. And just move on. Fake news. Or you can do the Virginia governor's method and, just come out and apologize and say you was young and dumb, and then you're going to be compromised. So, pretty much Bohemian Grove stuff going on here.
Yeah, it'd be really bad if like local politicians that all this everything's on the internet now. They'd really cut into you.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. The stuff you put on the internet, you may think you can go and delete it, but I saw somewhere some person somewhere has took a screenshot of that, and they're waiting for the day that you get famous or something.
Yeah, and for me, I don't really want the headache of it. Right now, politics is nothing but
Well,
a headache.
I'm not even old enough to run for it. I'm just 21, so.
I could run for some, but
No, I
not
agree.
for
It
me.
is
I'm
a
gonna
headache,
go and
but
I'm gonna go enjoy my life, make money, do what I want to do, and not have to worry about the situation of running for politics.
well, see,
I'd
my
like to
only
see some
reason.
conservatives though run for local offices though.
Yeah, but for me, the only reason is I don't know if I would want to be. You got to start off at a local level. You're not going to be able to just come out of nowhere and run for unless you're really really popular at like a business or something and you know a lot of people. You're going to have to start off locally. And my only reason I've thought about this for a long time. I thought about it since high school, honestly, just seeing where the state of our state has went, state of the country, stuff like that. We're going downhill fast, boys. We're going downhill fast. And I would just want to make a difference. And I would actually, if I ever, for, you know, Lord, Lord willing, if I ever got in a position of power, I swear I'd do everything in my life to make this place a better place. Make our area that we live in an actual place that people want to come to and move to work. Because there's nothing here for us to do. If you don't work at the hospital or the Board of Education, what are you going to do? Coal mines are done for. You can't do a lot of that work. And you can go and you got to travel across the state if you want to make a decent living. You can't just stay home and work in Pike County anymore. And it's sad, honestly. And what really killed it is I know, and I've heard my papa talk about it, and it's a known fact that you're not going to have coal around in one area for so long. There's going to be a time where you're going to run out. But instead of like what Barack Obama and Joe Biden did in 2008 and their years in office, instead of just coming and shutting that stuff down and making it so expensive for people to run that stuff, why not give us and help this area and these areas that have coal mines? Why not come in and put something else in here to help us instead of just shutting us down and leaving us to fend for ourselves?
It's coming to hit again.
Oh no. And the thing is what's he going to do to us now? We've done lost everything. How many mines are open around here right now? It's a handful.
I mean, you still got probably 5 to 10,000 jobs still out there doing it. And now when you lose them, look how many people is going to be moving out of these towns.
And that's why so many people that once upon a time moved from here, went to Michigan to work in those factories, and that's why so many people right now that live down in Georgetown to go work at Toyota.
Well, you look what else that affects. It don't just affect coal miners and coal mines. It also affects your school teachers because kids are going to have to move out, and parents are going to have to go find some work somewhere else. And now you're not going to have as many students, so you're going to start laying off teachers. It also affects people like my dad in the UPS business because the bulk of their packages go to coal mines. People think, no, it's all these residential areas. No, the bulk of their packages go to coal mines around here.
All they want
Well,
to get in Pike County and Pike was restaurants.
yeah. Which I mean is a good
Mexican,
thing.
Restaurants
Chinese food.
or the hospital.
It's a good thing to bring in restaurants and stuff, but at the same time, and that's why it looked a couple years ago. It looked like heck yeah, Pike County's gonna be on the rise. We had that deal to have that battery factory roll in here. There was a deal in place for the that big O was it App Harvest was wanting to come here and put a big that big hemp farm here. Imagine how many jobs that would have brought. And now look where it's at. It's down there in daggone Rowan County in Moorhead.
Had the other company going to come to build one of the truck liners,
Yeah.
and everybody's just backed out.
Well, and another thing too, what really sucked is the people that made that road going up to the industrial park made it so daggone curvy that you couldn't get no daggone tractor trailers up through there. That'd take an hour to get those trailers up through there. So now that's why that other road's being built. I mean, you set that and delayed that back by years and years and years. And now I think the first business that's going to be up there is Wright's Concrete. That's not really helping. I mean, yeah, they're going to move up there, but I mean, what's that really helping?
They're not going to give out bulk jobs because they've already got employees.
That's what I'm saying. It's not bringing. It might add a couple more jobs if they make it a bigger place up there, but you're not adding a bunch. You're like that battery factory was going to be paying quite a bit of money. You're going to have people get to work there and start making a good wage. And now look, what are we doing now? If you want to live here, for me and D-Train too, if you're a business major and you start to think about it, what the heck if we don't go into teaching or something like that, or get a master's in healthcare administration and get a job at the hospital, we're not going to make it here long.
Oh.
And plus around here, where it's such a small community, you got to know somebody.
Yep.
It's very, very hard to just go and apply here. If you're not connected to somebody somehow, you're not just going to get the job. I tried to get on at the bank a couple months ago. Couldn't get on there because I didn't know nobody.
Yeah, you got to know people.
And that's everywhere, but you have a better chance of going to somewhere like you get on Indeed.com. Anybody listening to this, you're wondering where in the world you're going to get a job at. Look at the difference between jobs in Lexington, Kentucky. Just the listings. Just look at the listing numbers compared. You got 20,000 down there that you can apply for. Here, you're looking at about 3,000, and most of them are fast food or like retail. You're not. I don't know. And it would kill me to have to move off from here because I love it here. But I mean, at the same time, though, you gotta end up doing what's best for you. You can't leave a house with your parents the rest of your life.
They could turn this place into like a little Gatlinburg or something. They could bring tourism in here.
Yeah.
Easily. We got these daggone pretty mountains and stuff. You look up and you could do stuff like Gatlinburg and just bring in a bunch of stores and tourism sites and stuff like that. I mean, you got the breaks here. You could have people go to it. But here we are.
There's too many people here that thinks they're better than everybody and looks down on stuff like that. I don't know.
No, I agree. It is. It's fine.
Within the next 10 years, it has to be figured out, or this place is going to become a ghost town.
Absolutely. And I just don't know how. And I've thought about this. As a teacher, I'd like to teach people because I'd like to help young kids actually understand what's going on and actually teach them stuff that they need to know. I think our education system is broken as can be. That Common Core is a joke. That's not helping anybody.
It's coming back.
When's the last time you all used the daggone 2 or 3 step equation? I can tell you when I used one for the last time, my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Never have I used one since then. Not even in college. The stuff that needs to be taught math-wise in college needs to be, taxes. Learn how to write a check, bouncing income sheet, accounting, stuff like that, business related stuff. Teach kids how to do their taxes and learn all this stuff and all these taxes. But instead of teaching us 1, 2, 3-step equations. But well, anyway, Masson's hopping off here, so I guess we went for an hour and 10. I think this has been also a pretty good episode.
Yep, plenty of time. Got our opinions out. People don't like them. Well,
yeah.
you'll be like Nathan.
I don't mean to run, but nature calls, fellas.
I have,
Yeah, we're good.
Well, you
But like I've said before, anyone in this, we've talked about it. I'd love for this podcast by the time of next year, when there's elections and stuff locally, I would love to have people come on here.
Yeah.
And I'd like for us to be big enough to where we had like our own like little kind of small studio deal at one point. Have people come, we could host debates, stuff like that. Lord God, if COVID's ever over. But
yeah.
and if anybody watches
Hopefully
this,
soon
I
enough.
begged and begged to find a liberal to want to come on here and just try to give us their viewpoint. Maybe we can understand where they're coming from. But no one's. I guess everyone's scared. I don't know.
And listen, we're not going to sit here and degrade you. Because I'm open to anybody that has different opinions than me. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I just want
not going to sit here and call you out. We call Nathan and Ronnie out because, they are wham little babies. But, no, we ain't going to call you out. If you have an opinion, and we're going to have a civil debate, which is what America should be about. Civil debate, your opinion, my opinion, and we can agree to disagree, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's what I've tried and tried. I'm trying to find people who want to come on here, but
if you're a Republican and want to come on and just chat and throw your opinions out, we'll love to have you. Anybody, just holler at Chris, send him a message on Facebook, and we'll get you on.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. And if you're a liberal, we can partner you up with Nate and Ronnie, and we'll just debate everybody. We'll have as a group debate.
Have a fun time.
And heck, I don't want to be and that's another reason I think I was trying to find, as a moderator of the podcast, I was trying to find something that would make the podcast a little bit more enjoyable, because I didn't think it was as enjoyable as it was. The best episode we had was when Ronnie was spewing about abortion and we kept calling him out on it. That stuff right there, getting into open discussion, just rattling stuff off the mind and not going by script, was pretty much what we developed into after a couple episodes. Was pretty much just a third-tier news source locally. We was just going, note by note by note. We're going to still hit on the big stuff and give our opinion about it, but I don't want to go structured like that anymore.
I think our structure tonight was the way to go moving forward.
Yeah. Open discussion. Still give out the Ron. Congrats, Nathan. Swamp Donkey. I don't really have one this week. Nancy Pelosi would probably been it.
She would have been mine too. Just because of her political pun on why we couldn't have a stimulus sooner on.
Yeah, it was pretty much
because of her.
It's pretty much a given. She's going to be Swamp Donkey this week.
Jeez.
But yeah, congrats, first time winner Nathan Little of the Ron. The Rhino Ron Award goes to Nathan Little. He's he earned it this week.
Got better things to do.
Yeah, he's got better things to do than come on here and let people hear him talk on here as listeners.
But he wants to run for politics.
He's got better things to do. He can't do that.
Right.
But anyways, y'all made it to the end of this. I don't think we'll have another episode out. This is Monday night. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Hope y'all have a good one. Whoever listens to this, I'm sure it's probably like 10 people, but it is what it is. I enjoy the 10 people that listen to this.
Remember the reason for the season.
Yep. And everybody be safe. And I guess we'll be on here sometime next week.
Yee!